What is dementia's cost to you? There are a handful of costs to you personally with dementia. There's the monetary cost, of course. There is the cost related to your family, of course, but there are really some more, innately valuable human kinds of costs that you will experience. Losing your sense of who you are is probably personally the most troubling, because the part of us who knows who we are, it changes very, very slowly for a good reason, but when you're losing who you are, where you're not showing up in the world for the person you know yourself to be, that mismatch is extraordinarily frustrating, and it really makes you question yourself at a very fundamental level. That's never a good thing for us unless we have the ability to do something about it, and then we can kind of slingshot, so to speak, into a new reality. That opportunity isn't afforded many people with dementia, but now that's possible, which is absolutely great, and I'm glad I took that opportunity. You can too. The costs when you don't, though, is what we'll talk about for the rest of this video. So, recognizing your grandchildren. Chances are pretty good that you'll recognize your children for a fairly long time, up through the end of stage 6 and into stage 7. But your grandchildren and other family members and people that you would otherwise know, being able to recognize them really goes away. And people who show up in your house trying to care for you, people who have good intentions but you don't recognize them, oftentimes when we're in dementia and when you don't put those things together, they don't make sense to you, you can get angry, kind of scaring your grandkids. Quite honestly, the way that you behave will be scary to them. The emotional roller coaster is really scary and unexplainable, particularly with small children. They think they're the center of the world. When we're little, we think that anything that happens is because of us. It's not, but when you're a small child, you can't help but think that. So the problems that you have will be owned by your grandchildren because of that very human trait that small children always have. There is the whole isolation piece that comes along with you feeling more and more isolated because you can't get out. It's not safe to get out. That's part of the benefit of going to one of those long-term and memory care facilities. Even so, monetarily, they're quite expensive. They do afford you the opportunity to have some more social interactions than you would normally have. To me, the biggest cost, and the cost that was a huge motivator for me, was the legacy that I intended to leave my children and the grandchildren that are yet to come. So that legacy shows up in several ways. Of course, we think of legacy sometimes monetarily, but the more important human aspects of legacy have to do with the love that you share with your family members, that really heart connection that we share. That's just such a gift that family members often don't have the opportunity to get anywhere outside the family. Life outside of the warmth of a wonderful family can be just kind of work-oriented, or not as relational, not as close, not as connected as families are. Additionally, chances are better than even that you're over 50, and after a few decades of life, we have developed a level of wisdom that our younger generations really have the opportunity to benefit from. They often don't want to hear about it when we offer it, but when they come to us and ask and hear the benefit of a lifetime of experience, understanding people better and better, and seeing a whole variety of ways to solve problems, to move forward, to help those younger people get through their lives in a meaningful and resourceful way, so that they're happier and more successful as time goes on. Us as mature people being able to give that gift of wisdom is the finest legacy that we can possibly give our family members and other people in our sphere. So those are the kinds of things that are a huge cost to you, completely aside from the question of independence, completely aside from the question of not being able to drive anymore, completely aside from not being able to bathe or feed yourself or even toilet on your own. So those kinds of independence, heart connections, emotional value and presence, and really being the wise person that you have the opportunity to be. So I'm just so glad that I've turned that around, and I'm able to provide that for my family in a way that lifts them up and really helps them become the young adults that they really want to be in the world and grow into the rest of their lives in a wonderful and meaningful way, a way that lifts them up spiritually, emotionally, into the full people they could be. So that's what I wish for you, and I hope this has been helpful as we move forward. When you're ready to talk, we do that through a Best Next Move session by phone, and happy to see if what we have to offer in turning dementia around is really a match for you. If it is, that's great. If not, I always enjoy meeting the very most interesting people. We're all on our own path, and for me, I'm really glad to have turned it around. It's been a gift, beyond compare. Until our next video, bye for now.